I remember what you cooking, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Iron Minds. Tuesday morning, Michael Lombard, Nick Clean-Smith. Pedro's down today, everybody. Send a prayer to Pedro. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Up and after it.
Second Tuesday of 2026.
And listen,
And it is good to
I'm
be
going to
here.
make a declaration real quick because I don't know who it
Yeah.
applies to, but good things are going to happen today.
Let's go. Positive attitude right out of bed. Let's
I'm putting
go.
it out there.
Good things are going to
go.
happen today. Good things are going to happen today. It will be the best day of your life because there is a purpose for it.
Bam.
And it's the only day promised. I mean, we don't know what tomorrow's going to hold, and yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. It's gone. So it's only a memory at this point. Today's the day that we get to live, which is where it's at. Hey, folks, as we talk about on the show, is iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Make sure you find your tribe, find your group out there, get some accountability. And you know what? If you had resolutions and you've already broken them, who cares? Just start back over or get back in the gym. Doesn't matter. Just get back in the gym. Today's day one. It's either one day or day one, and today can be day one. It's fine. No big deal. No big deal. Lombard, are you in Austin? Is it cold this morning? I see you outside.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. It's Austin winter, typical.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably about 50-ish. It might rain a little bit, but winter's been good over here, which is a good and bad thing. It's mild. It's a La Nina winter, as the smart people say. So it's like been a little bit drier, not as wet, and it hasn't been as cold. Christmas itself, I was tarps off on, the day on Christmas Eve or whatever, going for a run, and New Year's Eve. So it's like weather's been pretty good. First race in the cities next, this coming Sunday, first half marathon in Austin. It's a great one. It's the Austin International Half. The weather's looking like PR weather. About 40, 45 as the low, 65 is the high. So with very low humidity. So it's going to feel good. It's going to be a good day to go fast to kick off the year.
Hot, not too cold. Not really going to sweat a whole lot.
Yeah, so it's perfect. And this morning is the same way. It's about 50. It's a little bit wet, but it'll be warm. It'll be warmer later on. It'll be close to 70.
Nice. Love that, dude. Love it. Weather's been weird this year. There's no doubt about that. I was down in Branson last week for the Bulk Freight Conference, which shout out to Truck Parking Club. They were down there. Got to see, Evan and Hunter, and Chris Thomas was there as well. It was 71 degrees on Wednesday last week down in Branson, Missouri in January. That's pretty weird. I can tell you that much. But great conference, by the way. About 500 people. Had a lot of fun. Nice niche they got going over there at Bulk Loads with Jared Flynn and Tyler Allison. So good crew, man. It's fun.
It's only 5 degrees warmer over here right now.
Well, it hasn't stayed that way, Nick. It's now down to like 30 degrees here. It was just
I was talking compared to Lombard's.
Oh yeah.
He said it's 50 in Texas, only 55 here, and this time of year is just wonky, man. The weather's drunk because it goes up and down 40 degrees every other day. It's like why everybody keeps getting sick.
Yeah, it does. That's for sure. Ooh, Pedro in the comments. I didn't turn the comments on. What the heck? There we go. Look at that, Pedro. Yeah, there he is. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Wish you were on the show. We need you on the show. That's how it goes.
I mean, he's in the dark. We can't see him anyway when he's walking.
I know. He might be out there walking. Hey, something I noticed. You guys have been on limitations and restrictions with weight. I'm working on 10-pound weights this morning. I've been doing this a couple days. If you do this long enough, it hurts. Like it's actually, after a while, it becomes a heavy weight. It's amazing how that works. So if you just hold your arms out like this with 10 pounds, do that for a while, that really starts to hurt after a while.
If
So
you
it's
just
amazing,
do it
like,
slow a couple times, it starts to hurt pretty quick.
you don't have to have a lot of weight to get a little bit of juice going.
There's multiple methods. It's crazy in boot camp for the Marines. Like you think when people think like boot camp and stuff, you're always thinking about doing, getting a quarter jack going and doing a bunch of push-ups. This kind of the stuff you see from movies. Push-ups, pull-ups. But a lot of times, what you end up doing, especially when you're in like the squad bay for certain things, a lot of times when you're being incentive, it's called incentive training. When you're doing stuff, there's a lot of times where you're just holding your rifle out with your arm straight. You're holding it by the barrel, and you'll just hold it straight out in front of you, and you can't let it drop. And you just hold it there, and everybody holds it there. And then when somebody dips, like the timer starts over, you'll do it with it over your head. Like you'll have it over your head, and then you'll go into like a lunge where the knee can't touch the ground. Like those are things you'll do, and which brings it. I'm glad you brought up those 10-pound weights. There are people, and I was talking about this on a podcast I was on. People are under this. People, when it comes to fitness, are under the spell that you need to / have to always be in a gym to get any sort of results or to do what you want to do. And it's not true. They think that. And the internet's not really good at helping people. The internet's really good at validating people on this belief because they see influencers or whoever, they're training for multiple hours. They get X number of hours per week. But let's be real, some of those people, that's their job. What about the mom of 3 who's got this? What does exercise look for her? Does she need 150 minutes a week like you kind of should be getting? Can she? No, but the intention and the intensity is what matters the most behind it. So if you've got 30 minutes and you do 500 reverse lunges, you don't need the squat rack. You do 500. You just keep doing reverse lunges for 30 minutes straight. Then let's talk about how your legs feel.
Yeah, you're gonna feel that. That's for sure. So it's been an interesting thing to slowly kind of ramp back up here as we're getting better. I've been doing 5K a day, which has been really fun. I've actually been watching football games and walking and running during the games. I'll walk while I'm watching the game, and then when a commercial comes on, I jog, which has been nice. And so I've been getting in 5K every day, which has been great. And just starting to lift some weights. I'm hoping that by February I'm back to full strength as much as possible. Get as close to that as I can before manifest. So that'll be good. That will be good. Going to Oklahoma City today to visit with Stevens Trucking, doing a video testimonial for a client today with Stevens Trucking. That's going to be exciting. I haven't been to Oklahoma City in a while and never been to Stevens Trucking, although I've known a lot of the guys over there. And so that'll be fun. And the best part, guys, of this whole trip is I get to take my daughter, my oldest, Hannah, with me. A little field trip today, out of school field trip. Should be great.
Hey, you can't beat that. That's some good. That's actually a very educational field trip. Yeah, she's going on a supply chain field trip to learn a little bit about what makes the world go around.
That's right. It's going to be great, man. I can't wait. Like she's reached that point where a day out of school is not going to be that big a deal, and we get a chance to be together. She gets to see what I do. We're going to get dinner. I think we're going to try to get to a Oklahoma City Thunder game tonight because she loves live sports. So we got some cheap tickets up in the cheap seats up in the nosebleeds. And we're going to go do that tonight. So that'll be great.
Big shout out Stevens Trucking. At Truck Parking Club, we're good friends with them over there. And there's, I do a lot of our affiliate marketing, run our partner program, and we've got some content creators on there that go by the Corvette couple, and they're proud drivers for Stevens Transport. They're doing a really good job. They're big fans, and not, just shameless plug here. They utilize Truck Parking Club, so that way when they're out there on the road, they can go out, walk around, and do things. And they were able to go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade just because of it. So they were able to get out of the truck. They parked like, they parked at a nearby location, technically in New Jersey, took an Uber, were able to go explore New York City on Thanksgiving, go to the parade. And so they're utilizing us to get some of their intentional movement, staying
Dude,
active
that's
while they're out
awesome.
there over the road. And they're driving for Stevens, having a good time. So have fun in
Yeah,
OKC.
I love that. Well, and kudos to Truck Parking Club. I heard that I think you guys are up to like 33,000 or 3,500 locations now, which
3,800
I
locations,
mean,
baby.
I think the last time that I knew about it, it was somewhere like 1,500 or 1,200 or something like that. So that's really exploded in 2025. That's awesome. So kudos to you guys, man. You're doing a great job on the content marketing. You and Reed blowing it up over
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's been great to see in 2025 alone. It's been great to see because I've got to see the full year growth as it is because I started, just hit my 1 year anniversary with them on the 6th, and
Nice.
so I got to see the entire year of 2025 and how and Truck Parking Club's success and how it's grown in partnerships and and essentially doubling locations from January to December. It correlates right to like the consistency and the team effort correlates exactly with kind of the stuff we talk about on this show of like, did mistakes happen? Do things fall through? Do conversations not happen the way you want them to happen? Of course. But at no point in time, just from a team standpoint, was there any sort of inkling of wanting to give up? Like everybody who's on this team, from the property team to customer care, especially customer care, the ones who are taking care of drivers 24/7, there was not 1 ounce of doubt or disbelief at all in the mission and what we were doing, despite any challenges that had happened in 2025. And there were a lot over the course of the year, and there's a lot when it comes to especially being a newer company. When we think of Ironclad, you can consider Airbnb a legacy company at this point. There must have been a lot of growing pains for a company like Airbnb, getting through it and how they operate. And 2025 had its fair share of challenges, and I never saw 1 ounce of disbelief or not or people losing momentum and just picking back up and doing the next right thing, going for it, solving problems. And there's something remarkable how that correlates right into your own personal development.
Well, it's interesting. I just saw a throwback video of the creators of YouTube living in doubt if YouTube would ever make it. Because in this video, he's like, there's only 31 videos on it. He goes, I don't know if anybody's ever really going to come to the site, if they're going to care, if they're, if anybody's going to use it. We just can't get people to put videos on it. I mean, obviously, this is back in like early 2000s, but it doesn't matter what you're building or what you're doing. Doubt is, I think, a normal emotion to have, and it's not necessarily wrong. So to be in a situation where you guys didn't have doubt and everybody was fully on the mission, that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
clearly, YouTube is where they are now. So
If you've ever read the book Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, the amount of times they almost went out of business, like over the first couple of years, because of stupid, simple mistakes, was like baffling. There's so many stories out there like that. And I was talking to this kid yesterday. He's part of an entrepreneurship program at Temple University, and we were saying how people often say, I need to get more resilient so I can go through this thing, and it doesn't work that way. You have to go through it to get resilient. And Mike, a minute ago, you were saying how it fuels your self-development, but I think that's probably inverse too, because I've been in that situation back in the early days of Blue Grace. That was us. There was like 20 of us trying to do the mission of 100 people, and we were all in. It was like a brotherhood amongst us, and I think it was about having the right people on the bus at the right time.
What a great book title, Delivering Happiness, for a business. Like, clearly their business has, a tangible service or product to it. But the idea that, like, our mission is to deliver happiness through, this product or service. I think that's awesome, when you can have something like that, which is great. Truck Parking Club's kind of doing the same thing, right? They're delivering predictability and safety and security and rest, like true rest out on the road. So it's awesome. Love that, dude. Love that. Good stuff. All right. So, Michael, you got half marathon this weekend. Nick, when's your first race of 2026? 26?
I got a 5K the following weekend, but I'm just doing it to do it. It's not like a race, and I don't want to let it interfere with my training, so I'm not going to hit it too hard. But I have a half coming up. I think like the second or third week of February, and that'll be the first decent distance for me of the year. That'll
Nice.
again. I want to. I'm training for Ironman now as well, but I mean, I just started a couple weeks ago, and that's the training has to be the most important thing to me. I don't want to take a race that's going to require me several days to take off from training.
When is Ironman again? Is it May?
May 16th.
Nice. Dude, that's 4 months away.
124 days,
away.
not that anybody's counting.
Nobody's counting. Nobody's keeping track. That's awesome. That's awesome. Lombard, you doing an Ironman this year?
Yeah, I'm doing it with Nick Klingensmith.
Nice. Same one. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we're excited for it. Doing it in a great place like Jacksonville. Hopefully, we can rally some support behind it. I know that there's got to be some supply chain folks across the network.
Dude, Jacksonville's a huge supply chain community, and I already started lobbying people out there.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to get some hands out there. Start doing some yapping, talking about it. I'm excited for it. Yeah, got the half this week. Austin Marathon. This will be my 5th year in a row doing Austin Marathon, and having which leads me to a point I wanted to bring up with it still being January early on in the year, like having a streak is another one of those kind of like those kind of, we always talk about small habits daily. Like, I have a lot of friends who do a run streak. They run a minimum of 1 mile a day. You're doing 5K a day, and that's picking that one thing. And now I have this streak. It's going to be 5 years in a row doing Austin. Blessed because I'm healthy. And I met this guy. He's a member of the Texas Trucking Association. He's in his 70s. I met him last year in March, and he had just had a surgery on his foot. And then I saw him at the end of 2025, and he's on 2 feet. He's good. And I was like, "How you doing?" And I know he's a runner, and he's like, I got to get this same surgery on my opposite foot, but I got to wait until January or February, because he's done the Houston Marathon like for over 40 years in a row. Like it was like his 48th or 50th. Like he's been doing the Houston Marathon like every single year, and he did. And this guy's in his 70s. He's obviously not running these probably for PRs or what have you, but he's got this streak going.
He's still doing it, yeah.
And so when you get a streak of something, like a little thing, and I bring up a good one because this has been a challenge I've seen on social media, is trying to go 60 days, not 75 hard, not anything crazy, but 60 days without alcohol. And when you build on a streak, what that does for you is and it's another way to keep yourself accountable, like a streak of doing something. And I think, especially because I talk big about not overhauling your diet, fad diets, and going to the extreme, you get yourself on a streak of something. And I think it doesn't necessarily need to be a run streak. I think a walk streak is good, but I think that 60 days of kind of ditching alcohol, seeing where you're at, is a powerful streak. The power streaks, being on your own personal win streak, just like a baseball team or any team that's on a win streak. They keep going, they rally, kind of like, in baseball, when one guy hits, the next guy gets a hit, the next guy gets a hit. Like, there's like this momentum that you can't stop once you find yourself on your own personal winning streak.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, yes. There's something really solid just mentally about that. Just like reinforces habits, just to have a streak going in. That's huge.
I know it's 40 years from now. 40 years from now, I'm still doing this show. Lombard's going to be like, "Guys, I'm doing the Austin half again, and I'm going to PR it, man. It's a bad day to beat the Austin Marathon. I'm coming in hot."
He probably will have that attitude.
He will, too.
But
it's like 18 minutes at 73 years old. Michael Lombard is disappointed he didn't break 2.
That's right. It's interesting because now I'm like planning out my 5K, and I'm looking forward to it. Last night was the Monday Night Football game, and I was looking forward to hopping on the treadmill, watching the game, getting in my 5K. And it usually takes me about 40 minutes, 35 minutes, depending on how much running, how many commercials are. 45 if I'm walking straight, because I'm walking 4 miles an hour. And, it's been fun. It's been really good just to get on there and feel good and get the legs going, get the body moving again. And that streak really kind of mentally starts to transform how you think about your day, your calendar, your schedule, and your time, So streaks are helpful for that kind of stuff for sure. All right. All right, got to get some tries. I'm telling you, man, these 10-pound weights, it's crazy. Just do enough reps and you feel it.
You know, it's the same thing. Think of like a low, kind of like a low impact training for, a low zone training for like an endurance athlete. You can get the more reps in, you recover faster, you're not sore, the growth still happens. Oh, speaking of which, I got my, Mike and I've been putting the bike together piece at a time. Well, I got the speed sensor thingy for the wheel for my, trainer. So I had that on this morning.
Let's go, dude. Speaking of that low intensity, low impact, I was, a Peter Attia video washed across because we were talking about intensity. People who think they need to be, lifting heavy weights for 3 hours a day to get any sort of results. I forget the guy's name. He has a different name, but the dude who's like won the Tour de France last couple times. He's a dominant cyclist. He's dominating the field, currently in present day, and like 80 to 90% of that guy's training is in zone 2. And now granted, his zone 2 is like over 320 watts on a bike, which is unbelievable. Like if if anybody rides a Peloton or kind of knows about your wattage, like your power in it. But for him to get there, he was still doing a massive chunk of his training in zone 2 because and Peter Attia says he's like, I know who his coach is and I know for a fact that this is what his coach is doing. So this cyclist is elite and he's in the steady state zone, and zone 2 is different for everybody, but generally speaking, it's like between 120 and 140-ish heart rate, maybe 150 max. It really depends on your height and your weight, what zone 2 constitutes, but it's a steady state cardio that you're going through.
For those who don't know.
What's that?
For those who don't know at all, think about, you're going for a jog with your buddy and you're going slow enough and comfortably enough that you can both have a conversation.
Yes, yeah. It's a talking pace. And that's where he's
at.
I'm
122 right now, and just from what I'm doing with these 10-pound weights.
You'll be covered in about 30 seconds, though, I bet.
Yeah.
And so that's what that guy's in for 80 to 90%, and he's the dominant cyclist. It's it's the tortoise and the hare, the slow and steady. And now with zone 2, I mean, that right there, you're like, and it's a precursor of what dictates some good longevity. But that right there is just another proof that intention matters. Intention and intensity matter a little bit more than just straight volume of stuff. People think you need to do a million things. It's not true.
When I was taking the month off, the intentional movement I made sure to do is like, we have 2 dogs and my wife usually walks them in the morning. But I made sure that I was walking the dogs because that was the one thing I could do. And I was getting that 30-minute walk in every morning and every opportunity I could get to get a walk. And hopefully that'll show up. This is my second full week of training back, and hopefully it is showing up. And I think it probably is more than if I had just sat around not doing anything,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm getting better here. I'm 7 weeks out from surgery, almost 8. Friday's going to be 8, or Saturday's going to be 8. And everything's healing up nicely. Food's moving through good. So I'm really thankful to be on this end of everything and feeling 90%, feeling pretty good. So, very thankful for that, man. Very thankful for that.
The body is meant to heal.
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask what's up with your book. I haven't seen anything in a minute.
I did not, it's interesting. I didn't do anything on the book while I was out. I kind of thought I was going to, but I was so tired that I just didn't do it yet. I've got my final round of edits. My wife read the book. She gave me her feedback, a couple things I need to do, and I just got to sit down on the weekend and do it. I'm so close. So you know what? Hold me to that. I will work on it this weekend, and next weekend maybe I'll be able to tell you that I've submitted the final one. I don't have a lot to go. I just got to pick it up. So getting really close. Lost a little momentum with the surgery, but we're going to get it out there for sure.
So this weekend we're going to work on it, yeah?
This weekend.
All right, there's your accountability.
Next week you need to ask me where we're at with that.
Oh, no, we're not waiting until next week. You're going to text us this weekend to tell us that you did it.
Okay, I'll do that. And the next week we'll celebrate.
There you go. That's right. That's what iron sharpens iron is.
All right, everybody. And sometimes when iron hits iron, it it hurts a little bit. So
It's uncomfortable, right?
that's right. It's uncomfortable. Got to be pushed a little bit. That's right. That's how it goes. Look at this right shoulder. My frozen shoulder is almost completely healed. I can barely even feel it anymore. It's wonderful.
Did
Life
you
is
lose
good,
any momentum
people.
with that while you were recovering?
No, not at all.
That's
No,
good.
because I was resting. I really just rested my whole body. So when I came back out of that, it felt the same, maybe a little better. So it was all good.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. The body is meant to heal. And, I think those are conversations I have with a lot of people that's really helped beef a lot of kind of the message I preach, being able to coach these past 2.5 years. I've met people from all walks of limitations, and I talked about it because of that previous LinkedIn post I made. People who are, there's a woman who just posted about her Orange Theory class. She's in her 8th month of pregnancy. Again, we've had people come in who are doing chemotherapy, who are coming back from tremendous certain injuries, car accidents, whatever it might be. And those limits still at the end, I say it all the time, I say it to everybody, is that limits are truly self-created. There's things doctors are going to tell you, and Nick and I were talking about this with him getting ready for Ironman. Like, doctors are going to tell you one thing, like a physician is going to give you their recommendations, but that's a physician is like a physician
We
is
have different
somebody.
goals.
They have different goals and what they're doing, what they're going to advise you. They're not going to advise you to take risks. A doctor or physician, whereas another type of doctor like Mark Monero, a physical therapist, is going to work with you with your limitations. So this has everything. So we talk about finding our tribe, finding our community. Sometimes we're going to the wrong places. I'm not discrediting doctors, but a doctor or physician is not their field of practice is not have to do with muscles in the body and everything like that. You go to a doctor or physician if you have the flu, if you have a virus, something sick, something internally, but something acute like certain injuries, and maybe sometimes even chronic, like Nick, because some of your conditions are chronic, but that's not their specialty. Is to only give you certain approved guidelines that they want to get. They're not going to work with you because it puts them at risk if something were to happen, because if they allow it, if you go ahead and do something and they advise you against it, then it removes kind of their liability. And so when somebody like Nick's probably the best at this. When somebody tells you you can't, it is a challenge. Sometimes you've got to find where and how you can do something, because those limits are self-made.
Yeah.
This thing I've been working on for New Speed is about a 5-step system to break down obstacles into actions. And the second step is to define the rules of engagement, to define what the limits are, because when we argue with reality and shout into the wind, we stay stuck. But we have to accept what those limits are so we can work within them and then begin to redefine them. And I'm Mike's a lot nicer than I am, because I think that there are a bunch of glorified drug dealers who just want to keep me in a crack den and keep the pipe in my mouth so long as I sit still. And they can just keep feeding me with drugs. Most of my relationships with most of my physicians are so they can prescribe me the drugs that I need to survive. We don't have a clinical relationship aside from that, because I've long since given up on them. When I met with my new cardiologist regarding POTS, I told him straight up, listen, I don't care about managing the symptoms of this disease. That is not why I'm here. I want to run an Ironman, and you're going to help me. And he was like, okay. Otherwise, he would not be my doctor, because my goals are not to manage the symptoms. If it was, I would lie in bed all day.
Right. Yeah.
My goal is to live my life to the absolute fullest. And so sometimes that means finding people who are willing to put themselves out on the line a little bit to give you the advice that you need.
I think that is a tremendous way to end this show. And just as a reminder, everybody, if you are a person of prayer, if you be praying for Sarah Nichols, our dear friend was put on hospice on Monday of last week. And so we're getting, unfortunately, near the end of her journey. Her husband is Mark. Her kids are Kylie and Julie. And just say a prayer for them. And it's going to be a tough road ahead. But her journey the last 3 months has reminded all of us what you just said, Nick, which is live every day to the fullest. Live every day to the fullest. We don't know how many we have left. None of us do. None of us know what's going to happen down the road. But we have today. If you are listening to this, if you are breathing, you've got today, and you can live it to the fullest, or whatever that looks like. And I think that's a good way to end today's show. So listen, folks, find your tribe, find your group. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Get out there, get after it, stretch yourself, try something new, push past your limits, and we'll see you right back here next Tuesday on Iron Minds. Peace out, everybody. See ya. Man, I'm going to feel that.